Hey everybody, it's Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and we're back with another edition of Pots and Shots with Jake Jacoby of Telcloud. Jake, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Doug. Glad to be back.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and we're also, of course, later on we're going to be continuing our ongoing tour of like the best tequilas ever made. But for now, what we're going to be talking about is multi-WAN mystery, the backbone of modern telecom. So, Jake, let's get right into that. First of all, what is multi-WAN? Let's just explain the term to begin with.
Yeah, so a WAN is think about when you have a device, it's your internet connection, right? So when you have multi-WAN, it's multiple internet connections. So wide WAN is wide area network, right? So and the reason that this is important is that it's your connectivity, right? So if your internet goes down, then your whatever solution, you're browsing the web, you're using a credit card terminal, you're making a phone call, that requires internet. And if your internet goes down, then it stops working.
So how does multi-WAN technology improve the reliability and scalability of POTS line replacement solutions?
Is the good question. So the way that it does is that, so typically the way that we want to deploy our solution is with multi-WAN, meaning multiple WANs, right? And so the way that we do it is that the solution can utilize the customer's on-premise broadband, right? Broadband is typically unlimited connection, right? It's either fiber, coax, could be a wireless connection, but typically it's their main internet connection. So it's their first or primary WAN, right? Now, the problem with POTS line replacement and using that WAN as the only internet connection is that when the power goes out in a building, right? For instance, when there's an emergency, the primary WAN, like if it's a broadband or cable, typically goes down, right? Because they require a router, that router requires power, the power goes down, the internet goes down. So the way that we set up POTS line replacement is multi-WAN. So you could utilize that broadband as your primary internet connection, but then it will fail over to a cellular connection. Now, cellular may be your primary as well, right? But the reason that we want to have that cellular connection is because we can control it, and we can, with a battery backup, we can keep that internet connection online. So when the power goes out in the building, the secondary WAN, or potentially even the primary wireless WAN, will stay online, providing the connectivity that's needed for the phone call. In life safety, this is a requirement by law, right? So you have to have an independent internet connection that stays online, that is battery backed up, that stays online for 12, some states 24 hours. So that's what our solution does. And so you can even go further and have multiple WANs after that. So you could have a primary, a secondary, a tertiary WAN, and bond those together, have them fail over. But really what it is at the end of the day, kind of making it non-technical, is that internet connection is reliable and stays up even when the power goes down. That makes sense?
It does. And let's stay with the sense part, because how are you helping your resellers and partners explain these advantages finally to their customers?
Yeah. So I think, again, the beauty of Telcloud is that we can give you the content to go super technical, but it really is not that technical, and your customer doesn't need to know all of that information. What they really need to know is that it's code compliant, it's going to work, and it's going to stay up when there's an emergency, and it's going to work just like old POTS line. So the reason a POTS line was code compliant is because it brought its own power. It was independent of the building. So typically when the building's power went down, that POTS line still works. And so that's the exact same way that our solution works. So really when the customers, what they're really concerned about is, does it meet code? Am I going to get in trouble? Is this going to stay up and work for me in a life safety situation? And the answer to all of those is yes. Now, the nice thing about partnering with Telcloud is we will back you up with that, back you up with support, back you up with engineers, back you up with conversations directly with your customer if you need us to. So that's the idea, is that we empower our resellers so that we go in as a team and we provide the right solution to the customer so that they're comfortable, it works, and it's a long-term solution.
Well, Jake, as part of our Pots and Shots program, it's time for us, my favorite part, to learn about another unique tequila.
So thank you. So I'm excited about this one. It is a relatively new tequila to me. It's been around for a while. Highly recommended. I hope I said this right. La Gritona. It's in a bottle like this. Kind of hard to read, but if you see this is a Reposado tequila. Very smooth, very drinkable. Again, sipping tequila. You could mix it. It's a little bit pricier, so you probably want to enjoy it just neat. The unique thing about this is small batch. It's the last time we talked about my favorite tequila, Fortaleza. This is small batch like that. And then the other unique thing about this is it's made from recycled glass. So in Mexico. So beautiful bottle. It's kind of something that you could, put out on your bar or something, so you show it off. But yeah, it's great tequila. And if you see this, La Gritona, definitely pick it up and try it.
Wow, that's really interesting. Well, so, and no, I always have to ask that's definitely got to be a
sipping. Yeah,
that's
definitely neat. Yeah. So the nice thing about like these sipping tequilas is that you can just pour a little bit in a glass. Some people like to, just put it in their hand and let your hand kind of just bring it to that temperature. So hold it for a little bit, smell it. You can definitely smell the differences between these tequilas. And just, this isn't college, like, Jose Cuervo getting a bad hangover, shooting tequila. This is sipping high-end, tequila. So it's very enjoyable.
Well, Jake, I want to thank you for joining me today. And I want to invite everyone to join us next time. Next week, we're going to be talking about what the PSTN shift means for you, specifically what it means for you as a partner, as a reseller, as a channel partner. This is going to be a great year of opportunity as we move into the spring. But for now, thank you very much indeed for joining me today.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.